Hey, Bri,
Hey, yeah.
will you review a game with me?
Oh my god! Yes! Yes, I will! So I bet you're wondering why we're dressed up for a wedding. Well, it's because we did marriage mix-up escape room. So what better way to explain the game than to dress for the occasion?
Indeed. So, Marriage Mix Up is part of the Holiday Hijinks line of games from Grand Gamers Guild. You'll have a deck of 18 cards. You're going to open up this pack. There's a QR code. You're going to scan that QR code with some form of electronic device. Brings up a website, and it'll tell you to begin. You'll usually start with card 1. You'll bring that down. They'll pose questions. You try and deduce stuff from various cards or just the one card. It varies from puzzle to puzzle. You put in the answer on the website. It tells you if you're right or wrong. If you're wrong, it says, nope, try again. If you're right, then it tells you where to go after that. A couple other things they have is they have a little tab of information that you might need to know that you may not know off the top of your head, such as Morse code, wedding traditions of other cultures, Braille, stuff like that. Stuff that would be included possibility as codes, but they're not all there. That is some of the red herrings they like to give you.
Yes, you don't use them all.
They also do have a hint system, and it is timed, and they'll give you a score at the end. So that is the basics of how it plays. So let's move on to our thoughts, and I'll turn it over to my blushing bride.
So just for information, there may be spoilers. We're not going to give you hints on how to solve the puzzles or anything else.
We're not going to give you answers. We're not going to tell you, like on card 27 A, B, C, D, you're going to put this into there.
Right. But there may be some information that could be considered possibly a spoiler. So this is your spoiler alert.
It's hard not to do some form of spoilers reviewing an escape room game, but we are going to do our absolute best.
Yes.
But I guess before we get into all of that, how about we give them our base thoughts on the game? That way, if that's all they want to know is our thoughts, we can let them know, and then they can hear why it's that way. So, how did you enjoy this one?
I liked it. Not as much as some of the previous ones. But that
we'll cover in the review.
Yeah.
Me, I found this one decent. Again, not my favorite. It says it's a difficulty of 2 out of 3. We found it probably here more difficult than that, maybe closer to a 3 out of 3. But yeah, this one just had a couple things that kind of wasn't a fan of. All right, so if you're looking for our base thoughts, there they are. Now we'll delve more into it, where the possibility of ruining stuff comes in.
Possibility spoilers. So this one actually took us a little bit longer than our previous ones. This one, I think it took us about a little over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes to do. I think we also used a little bit more hints on this one too than on the previous ones, because there were some that were kind of a little harder, a little more difficult to figure out.
Well, that kind of comes into what we weren't a fan of with this one. So this is the biggest spoiler there may be, although this happens after you solve the first puzzle, and that is you split into bride side, groom side. And then once you do that, as you can probably predict, is you get certain cards and you can't show them, so there's that huge communication element there. So instead of everybody being able to look at a card and figure it out right away, you're kind of telling each other's cards. So that did kind of extend our time a bit, because there is that added communication element you might not normally have.
Right. But I guess communication is the basis of a good marriage. So
And
put it in for the game.
And thematically it works because, traditionally when you go to a wedding, you're on the bride side or groom side. So it was a nice thematic element that you might not always get into these escape room type of games that you normally play, but that they do seem to do really good with in these holiday hijinks.
Yes.
Is not just giving you puzzles, giving you thematic puzzles that fit into the theme, so you're not just feeling like you're just buying a small escape room game. You are buying the experience of that event, that holiday, and so forth. It just, me personally, that wasn't a mechanism I like. I like to be able to see it, and you're relying on the other person to be able to communicate it, so that was what kind of drew it down for me from the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm a little more of a visual person, so to hear what we were supposed to, it was very difficult.
So yeah, but like I said, that was honestly our only drawback. And then even with that visual one, because this one did seem to have quite a few spatial puzzles and stuff where one could possibly interact with the other, so it would have been easier to see. So there is that one. I do like that it still seems like, so this is Holiday Hijinks number 9, and they're still finding unique puzzles to do. They're not really recycling much. There's some that are a little similar, but you can't tell they're similar until you solve it. You're like, oh yeah, that was similar to that. So they're doing that kind of similar, but with a new twist and a different way of doing it, to where you're not going to blatantly look out and go, oh yeah, that was from what they used in Holiday Hijinks too. So I know how to solve that. No,
Yeah.
it's you get there and you're like, oh, they just used that thing they used in the other thing, didn't
Pretty
they?
sneaky.
So that's a really cool design element we find in this, is that if they reuse it, they hide the reuse. So
Yeah. So, but I think that was about the only thing.
outside
I
that,
think with this one I think we got a 4 stars.
yeah, 4
also.
stars. This is the first one we actually had to say give us the answer. We couldn't figure it out, so that's why I said that to me it was closer to a 3 out of 3 for us than some of the other ones we've played, because we played a 3 out of 3 that seemed easier than this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, overall, I mean, the art is still good. The way they lay out the cards is still really handy, helpful. You gotta make sure you look at it all. They do hide stuff here and there, so.
Make sure you look everywhere on the card.
So, because they really know how to make use of those 18 cards to give you that great gaming experience.
Yep.
So, any final thoughts?
Not that I can think of. Just figured, with our anniversary coming up, this was a great game for us to play for it.
So my parting thoughts will be, go ahead and look for this at the Grand Gamers Guild website or where you get your games. To me, this would make a great wedding present to give to someone, because with being only 18 cards, they can easily just pop this in their carry-on luggage if they're going on a honeymoon. It's a fun thing that they can do together. It'd make that great thing, and then they have their something new.
There you go.
Alrighty, so if you want to go ahead and see when we post more of the Holiday Hijinks series, which we are going to be doing, and we already have, you'll have seen a link above way back in the video, because then you can go ahead and like, subscribe, and ring the bell for the channel. If you want to comment here, let us know what you thought of this one, or then go ahead and share the video to any of your upcoming brides, grooms, or betrothed. Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
All right.
Showing our age now.
Yeah, something of that nature. But if you know someone who's doing a marriage of some kind soon, you should go ahead and share this video with them so they can see if they want that, and they can request it from you.
And thanks for watching, Married Meeples.